Welcome to Narrations. Today we venture deep into the unsettling world of the Blair Witch Project, 1999, a groundbreaking horror film that terrified audiences with its raw, immersive found footage style. Directed by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez, this movie brought a new kind of fear to cinema, one that thrives on the unknown and the unseen. In this narration, we will follow every twist, every shadow, and every heartbeat-inducing moment as three young filmmakers venture into the Maryland woods to investigate the legend of the Blair Witch. In the summer of 1994, Heather Donahue, a determined and inquisitive film student, convinces her classmates Michael Williams and Joshua Leonard to accompany her into the Black Hills Forest near Burkittsville, Maryland. Their objective is to create a documentary about the infamous Blair Witch, a local legend said to have terrorized generations of children with inexplicable disappearances. Armed with handheld cameras and a sense of adventurous curiosity, they embark on a journey that seems promising but quickly turns foreboding. Locals in the town share cryptic warnings, recounting tales of children who vanished without a trace and strange happenings in the woods, creating an atmosphere of unease that permeates the group's expedition from the outset. The first few days of the documentary project are filled with a mix of excitement and apprehension. Heather interviews townspeople, capturing their eerie stories, while Mike and Josh film landscapes and reactions. Subtle signs of something being off begin to appear: strange noises, fleeting shadows, and oddly arranged stick figures that seem to watch them. These minor but unsettling occurrences foreshadow the terror that will soon engulf the filmmakers, planting seeds of doubt and fear in their minds. As they venture deeper into the forest, the trio's optimism fades. Navigation becomes difficult, as familiar landmarks vanish and paths become confusing. Tensions arise, and minor disagreements intensify as stress and fatigue take their toll. The forest, dense and unwelcoming, becomes a character itself, an oppressive entity that magnifies their vulnerability. Nightfall only worsens the psychological strain, with every rustle and distant sound sparking panic. The feeling of being watched grows stronger, making the once adventurous project into a nightmare of isolation and dread. The first night in the woods introduces the group to the eerie reality of their situation. Strange noises echo from every direction, and the unsettling arrangement of rocks and twigs around their campsite suggests an unseen observer. Sleep is fitful, and each creak of a branch or snap of twigs triggers fear and suspicion. Heather, Michael, and Josh begin to feel the psychological weight of their environment, the forest acting as a pressure cooker for paranoia, anxiety, and fear. The days that follow are marked by confusion and frustration. Their maps prove unreliable, compasses seem faulty, and their attempts to retrace steps only deepen their disorientation. The trio finds themselves arguing more frequently, trust eroding as exhaustion sets in. Heather's determination to find the Blair Witch legend clashes with Michael's practicality and Josh's growing impatience. The forest manipulates not just their physical location but their mental state, heightening tension with each passing day. Unnerving signs continue to escalate. They discover symbols etched into trees, piles of stones arranged in ritualistic patterns, and evidence that something, or someone, is following them. At night the sounds intensify, twigs snapping, whispers drifting through the air, and the occasional howl that seems unnervingly human. The psychological terror becomes almost unbearable, eroding their ability to make rational decisions. Their cameras capture every frightened glance and whispered speculation, making the audience feel as trapped and anxious as they do. One evening, after a particularly tense confrontation, the group becomes aware that they are not alone in the forest. Objects are moved, sticks are placed around them in menacing formations, and disembodied sounds echo through the night. Heather's fear escalates as she senses something approaching, while Michael and Josh try to maintain composure, each in their own way failing to fully convince the others, or themselves, that everything is safe. The forest seems alive, a malevolent force manipulating the environment to break their resolve. The group's cohesion deteriorates further as exhaustion, fear, and the unknown weigh heavily on their minds. Disorientation turns to despair, and desperation seeps into every decision. Their journey becomes a psychological trial, a test of endurance as they struggle to survive the uncharted territory and the unseen presence that stalks them. Each step they take feels increasingly perilous, as if the forest itself conspires to trap them. The climax of their ordeal is both terrifying and ambiguous. Heather ventures into an abandoned house, a location filled with shadows and oppressive dread. Objects are broken, doors creak mysteriously, and the atmosphere is charged with the tension of unseen threats. She searches frantically for Michael, calling his name into the darkness, only to encounter silence punctuated by eerie noises. The tension mounts as she realizes that Josh is gone and Michael has vanished, leaving her alone to face the unknown. In the final moments, the sense of horror reaches its peak. Heather's panic escalates as she explores the dimly lit house, finding it filled with strange symbols and signs of a sinister presence. The camera captures every trembling hand, every rapid breath, and every glance into the dark, as the audience is plunged into the fear she experiences firsthand. Then, in a chilling, unresolved conclusion, Heather disappears into the shadows. The story ends abruptly, leaving the fate of the characters, and the existence of the Blair Witch, ambiguous, allowing the audience's imagination to fill in the terrifying gaps. The Blair Witch Project remains a seminal work in horror cinema because it turns simplicity into fear, relying not on gore or jump scares but on atmosphere, suggestion, and the terror of the unknown. Its influence can be seen in countless found-footage films that followed, and its ability to immerse viewers in the character's psychological deterioration ensures its place as a classic. The movie proves that sometimes what we don't see can be far more horrifying than what we do, making it a timeless psychological and supernatural horror experience. If you found yourself on edge throughout this terrifying journey, imagine watching it in real time. For a complete chilling experience, make sure to watch the Blair Witch Project and see if you can survive the forest yourself. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Narrations for more immersive horror narrations that bring the scariest stories to life.